Well, hi folks, end of June now, so I'll just give you a quick tour of the plot, show you how things are going, and to be honest I'm really pleased. So I'll just flip this around and give you a little bit of a walk around, if you can hear me over the traffic. So I'll just give you a quick look at the bed first of all. We'll start off, obviously there's a few weeds come up because it's rained the last couple of days, which is fantastic because I was getting really short of rain, but that's brought some of the weeds up with it, but it doesn't matter, I can get those weeded out this weekend. The peas are doing really well, even with the lack of rain. You see we've got the flowers on now, so it shouldn't be too long till a few peas start setting. So that's good, because last year I think we had quite a patchy germination with them, but this year they look a lot better. These are the Hurst green shaft, my favourite pea, grow about 3 or 4 feet tall. Each pod's got about 10 peas in it, and they're always really sweet. I'll just move on to some other stuff. This is some of the rocket I've planted. I planted it out a little bit later than the stuff in the polytunnel. I've been harvesting that. This is the second lot of spring onions I've planted, all again in bunches of about 6 to 10. I've just planted those today as well. That's my third batch of spring onions. I have been taking a few from the polytunnel with no roof on, so I could never get enough spring onions. These are the banana shallots, again need a bit of weeding. The ones at the end, the bigger ones, are the ones that Phil sent me, thankfully, thank you. And then these smaller ones are the ones I grew, and another row there, but they'll catch up and they'll be, well, not saying just as good, but they should be okay, absolutely fine. Onions seem to be doing really well this year, even though it's been weird weather, cold and wet and then dry. I don't spot any bolters yet as of such, so that's the benefit of growing from the heat treated onion sets. No matter what stress they put under, then they just don't seem to send up any seed heads, even the red ones. Garlic again, looking good. If you remember, I always plant my garlic quite late, the end of February, start of March. I always find that's the best way for me, because if I try and overwinter it like a lot of people do, it just doesn't seem to work. So it always goes well for me in quite a short season. This will be ready in sort of the end of July, middle of August time. We'll get on to the potatoes now. Potatoes are doing really well too, and the bit of rain should have helped. Starting to put flowers on now. These are the Nicola. The ones in the middle are some of the Anya, which are a cross between pink fir apple and Desiree. They're like an improved pink fir apple. If you know these pink fir apple, they're really knobbly, but they're absolutely fantastic taste. But these are quite a smoother variety, because they're a cross between another variety and the pink fir apple. And then these are the blue Danube. I just really grow these for Christmas dinner because they're the best roast potato ever, and these have got nice little purple flowers on. So all in all, the spuds in that bed looking pretty good. Been keeping a few of the weeds that I do enjoy, like foxgloves, so I never pull those out. Always had a bit of colour. So into the polytunnel. Really pleased with stuff in here. I'll start at this end. Lettuces have been absolutely fantastic. They've absolutely flown on. These are the multi-green, absolutely brilliant lettuce. They do a red and a green variety. So I've been taking some of those and then replacing the ones I've taken with some smaller ones that have been planted later. Now, one thing I'm a little bit disappointed with this year are the little gem, because they're always a lot faster than any other variety, and they look quite sickly as seedlings. Although they look alright, they're not really sort of hearting up well. But I mean, it doesn't matter, you can just take the outer leaves and use them as a lettuce like that. But like I said, they looked a bit sickly from day one, so I don't know. And these are the icebergs. They should start hearting up soon. Got a few of those in. Web's wonderful, nice and big. And then this is the rocket I planted earlier. Been taking lots of this. You just basically pick the leaves and it just keeps growing and growing. Does have a tendency to go to seed. If you can see there, that's going to seed. So all you need to do is just keep pinching that bit off and just keep picking. The more you pick, the less chance it has of going to seed, and you really need to keep it really well watered. So again, I've been planting some more successional lettuce again, smaller ones, and those bigger ones went from sort of that to that in about 3 weeks. So there we go. And like I said, these are the little gems again. they just look so weary and spindly. They just never took off. They were planted exactly the same time as that, and if you can see the difference in size and vigour, there's a clear difference. So I may try and get a different variety and try those. Well, these are the French beans, the dwarf French beans called Ferrari. Again, they're doing really well, and I think we may even have the start of some little flowers come in, because they don't get too big a plant, and once they start cropping they should crop for ages. But they've done really well. They've all taken. As you can see, it's quite windy at the moment, but they're all standing up well. They're very sturdy plants, very stocky. If you can see the root, see the stem, they're quite thick, so that's good. These are the first spring onions I planted. I have taken a few. If I show you the size, I've been taking them at that size. I mean, they're nearly as thick as my finger, but because I've got that many planted, I might as well take them really small and enjoy them early on, because there's no point in leaving them till the first one's massive, because then all the rest will get way too big. So like I said, I've been planted that many, I can grow them on, I can eat them quickly. These are some of the courgettes I've planted. I've got a couple at home in the greenhouse. Obviously growing a bit faster in the greenhouse, but doing all right. I think they've settled in now, quite stable, as is that one. Growing a few sunflowers this year. It's a bit windy up here, they need tying up again. These are a variety called Titan. Apparently they grow to about 16-17 feet tall, so that'd be fun to grow up here in this wind, but we'll see how we get on. Another one over there. Planted a few squashes, and then some butternut squashes just to trail behind the peas, and see how they get on. And then the second batch of peas, these again Hurst green shaft. Planted these a month before the last ones, and as you can see they're only about maybe a foot shorter. So it goes to show you, when you do sow stuff later when it's warmer, they don't have fly on compared to the earliest stuff. So we'll just have a look in the other bit. So the rhubarb's still powering along, still plenty of stuff coming off it. You can see how nice and red it looked. Get in there. So I'll take that until for about another 2 weeks, and then shouldn't really take it after the start of July to get the energy back into the crown for next year. Gooseberries are a dead loss this year because they got frost, so all the buds dropped off. So I've probably got about 20 gooseberries on, so a bit disappointing, but there's not a lot you can do. Sweet peas are doing all right now after quite a slow start. I need to tie those up, but they're all climbing up. The start of a few flowers coming. Again, it's been that windy, but they have picked up, so it's not too bad. So I'll show you the pond. The pond's looking quite nice now. I'm really pleased with this. That's some of the plants I left in from the native ones, but it's getting colonised now. We've got a few newts in. I actually saw a fully grown frog the other day, so that's obviously been attracted by it. We've got, like I said, we've got newts, and we've got put some frog spawn in, so we should get some frogs emerging, some little baby frogs. But all the plants are planted, looking quite good now. The little flowers. Saw the first damsel fly the other day, so compared to what it looked like, I'm really pleased with it at the moment. So we'll just have a look in the last bit. I'm thinking of hanging a hammock up between that tree and that tree, so we'll see how that gets on. Again, another rhubarb in this bit. I'm going to plant another squash there. And I've just taken the nets off this, the brassica bit, just so I can get in and do a bit of weeding. But I'm really pleased with these, clean as a whistle, because of these various things I used to keep the butterflies off. Not that I've actually seen a cabbage white yet this year. But these are the cauliflowers, looking really nice and clean, no slug damage, no caterpillar damage. This is the Russian Red Kale. Oh, my camera's gone off. Russian Red Kale, looks to be growing really well. Again, clean as a whistle. And then one thing that I've never had any success with in my life are the Brussels sprouts. But so far, so good. They're not looking too bad. But like I said, I've never had any success with Brussels sprouts. But we'll see if we can manage it this year. And then finally, the leeks that I planted the other day when I did a video. Can't believe the weeds that have come up in about 4 days from these. Absolutely crazy. But anyway folks, that's about it. Just a little roundup of how things are growing on the plot. So I'll show you my ugly mug again. So that's about it folks. End of June. Bit of a plot update for you. See you later.